Welcome to KXAN News Today. There are new details about a weekend shooting that left an officer and others dead. Detectives say 35-year-old Ahmed Nassar stabbed Iman Ian El-Namassar and Riyad Nassar on Saturday. Neighbors identified them as his mother and brother. Authorities say Nassar shot and killed Austin police officer Jorge Pastor in a gunfight with SWAT officers. Nassar died in that shootout.
TxDOT is launching its new Drive Sober No Regrets campaign. It's in partnership with the Department of Public Safety and Austin Police, and it includes a holiday exhibit to simulate dangers and consequences of drinking and driving. That kicks off today at 10:30 this morning.
And the 24th anniversary of the Texas Conference for Women is today. It's the largest conference for women in the state of Texas. It starts at 8 this morning, goes on till 5 o'clock tonight over at the Austin Convention Center. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun later on today. Lots of people from all over the state are going to be here, and we have great weather. Yeah, I'm going to MC it. Yeah, we have lots of people.
That a viewer stopped me in the grocery store and told me, I think Sally's speaking, and I'm so excited to see her. That's how I know you're going to go there.
Yeah, it's going to be a really cool thing for lots of people here. So hope to see you there. Great weather for everybody in town.
Fantastic. Yes. Whatever you're doing today, very, very nice. Let me get you started because there's one little hiccup here, and that's going to be some fog. Our Ewell Kubota weather camera there in Georgetown. This is a prime example of why we don't turn on our high beams when there's fog outside, right? It makes it so much worse with more light reflecting off the clouds that we've got hugging the ground this morning. So please make sure if you do encounter some of the patchy fog, you just keep those regular headlights on. No need for the high beams. It's not necessarily widespread fog. However, we do have spots of low visibility like Georgetown, like the airport, even slightly reduced visibility out in our eastern counties. So we deal with this a lot here in Central Texas. Y'all know what to do. I'm just here to remind you. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Not too far from where we were yesterday. It's a chilly start to the day, but boy, do we have a nice afternoon to follow. Temperatures around pickup time in those lower 70s. Plenty of sunshine, light winds, humidity not a problem, no rain today. I mean, this is near perfect fall weather for us as we get into the later part of the week. Got a pair of cold fronts to tell you about. The first one comes in tomorrow, but that doesn't necessarily look like the impactful one. One looks much stronger than the other, and we're going to focus a lot on what's happening in the back end of the 7-day. We've got an update to some rain chances with our next weather maker. So more on that coming up in your first warning forecast.
Kristen, thank you for that. A person may not make it this morning after two cars crashed head-on around 9 last night on I-183 near Ben White Boulevard, pinning one person inside a car.
Paramedics took that person to St. David's South Austin Medical Center with potentially serious injuries. Traffic should be back to normal as of this morning. Federal government will stay open for now. The U.S. Senate overwhelmingly passing the two-step continuing resolution bill last night. 87 of the 100 senators voted to move it forward. 1 Democrat, 10 Republicans votes against the stopgap measure. Passage of the bill means that a government shutdown has been avoided. The continuing resolution bill will fund the government through early next year. The bill splits government funding into two groups. Some departments will be funded through January 19th. Others will be funded all the way through February 2nd. So this means that Congress will have to deal with two more government shutdown deadlines in early 2024. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer held a press conference following the vote.
This year, I am happy to announce there will be no government shutdown. As of Friday night, the government is staying open. And because of bipartisan cooperation, we're keeping the government open without any poison pills or harmful cuts to vital programs. A great outcome for the American people. I know both sides genuinely care about approving aid to Israel and Ukraine and helping innocent civilians in Gaza. So I hope we can come to an agreement, even if neither side gets everything they insist on. But we will be working on it immediately when we get back after Thanksgiving.
The bill now heads to President Biden's desk for him to sign it before the deadline of 12:01 a.m. Saturday.
Overseas, the Israeli military is raiding Al-Shifa, the Gaza Strip's main hospital, being described as a targeted operation against Hamas.
NBC News' Keir Simmons reports this morning on Today as the raid has intensified fears for hundreds of civilians, including dozens of premature babies, trapped in the complex as fuel, water, and food run out.
Good morning. Well, we wait for more news from Al-Shifa Hospital, where yesterday the Israelis said that they had found weapons and grenades and other military paraphernalia, but it did not appear that they had so far found the kind of command and control center that had been talked about by the US and by the Israelis. There's no news so far about help for those premature babies, those dozens of babies, though Israel did say that it sent in baby food and baby incubators. We wait to see whether those have truly arrived. Talking to doctors in the hospital, they have described being frightened and worried. I'll have all the latest coming up on Today.
Here, thank you. A teacher shot in her classroom. What we now know about the mother whose son is the one who pulled the trigger.
And what is behind the bad reviews after a new report shows Austin's airport is ranking less than sky high? Good morning, a live look outside. This is from Georgetown, and you can see it as a foggy start to your Thursday, something to consider as you hit the road later on this morning. Happy to have you around with us. I want to tell you about that Virginia mother whose 6-year-old son shot his teacher. She's now going to spend 21 months in prison.
Deja Taylor was sentenced yesterday on gun charges tied to the weapon that was used in that shooting. She pled guilty in June on federal charges of using drugs while having a gun and lying about her drug use when she bought that weapon. Police say in January, Taylor's son shot his teacher, Abby Zwiener, at the elementary school in Newport News.
An Austin real estate investor with ties to Attorney General Ken Paxton pled not guilty to 4 wire fraud charges. These 4 charges were in addition to 8 initial counts against Nate Paul. Those were for making false statements to lending institutions. Paul and Paxton's relationship was scrutinized during Paxton's impeachment trial in the Texas Senate. Both have denied any wrongdoing. Right now on KXAN.com, we have a deeper look into the case and Paul's ties to Paxton.
Some sad news to pass along this morning. That 6-year-old little boy who was attacked with a baseball bat 2 months ago died this week. The Williamson County Sheriff's Office confirmed that with us. And now the man accused could face a capital murder charge. Investigators say Jeremy Diaz, his neighbor, broke into the family's home and then assaulted that young boy and his mom in September with the bat. Jeremy's family says he suffered multiple fractures to his skull. The sheriff's office arrested the neighbor. His name is Daniel Logan, and he already faces several charges. The county says that it is working with the DA's office to present the case to a grand jury and potentially enhance the charge to capital murder.
What an upset mother said to the Lake Travis School Board after her son suffered a peanut allergy attack that she says his football teammates caused.
We're going to talk about the progress made after meeting with President Biden and the Chinese president.
We'll have a report on Texas football and a recap of UT volleyball and men's basketball, who were in action last night. That's later in sports. Keep it here.
Good morning. Another live look outside on this foggy start to your Thursday morning. We're happy to have you around with us here on KXAN News Today. And listen to this. There's this new report out from the Wall Street Journal that ranks Austin's airport pretty low among the 30 busiest large and mid-sized airports in the U.S.
Yeah, the report pulled government data as well as traveler surveys. Austin Bergstrom International Airport's lowest score centered on issues with on-time arrivals, average tax-in times, and security delays. AUS did receive higher scores, though, for its non-stop destination options, its traveler lounges, child facilities, and the cost of taking a ride share from airport to the downtown area. Now, on the opposite end of the list, San Antonio came in second. Houston's William P. Hobby Airport ranking at the top of the 5, while Dallas Love Field Airport landed in the middle of the pack, came in at number 19. We did reach out to officials at AUS for comment. Digital reporter Kelsey Thompson will have the response and some of the more details when it comes to those rankings online right now at KXAN.com. We are getting ready for Thanksgiving already next week, and today it's the 8th annual All-Star Thanksgiving Showdown on NBC. Watch 20 celebrity chefs sharing their best recipes for turkey, collard greens, cornbread, sweet potato, mac and cheese, gravy, pumpkin pie, and more. And just exactly how can you get the juiciest turkey?
Martha Stewart has some advice. She is holding up parchment paper and says that is the secret. Don't miss all the tips and the recipes coming up this morning on Today.
Oh, fun.
I love when they do this episode because it's like, I don't even know where to put the parchment paper. Like, not only would I not think of it, like, she's telling me use this, and I'm like, how?
I'm with you.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's those who are Thanksgiving experts, and then there's the rest of us.
Then there's who just show up looking for the plate and the fork. Hey, speaking of which, we want to make sure everybody's got that plate of wonderful Thanksgiving food to look forward to next week. So if you can help us out, we only have a few days left of our Friendsgiving challenge. This is our way of giving back to the community, and we want you guys to help us out. If you can donate anything, $1, $5, $10, $100,000, whatever it might be that you can hand over to the Central Texas Food Bank, we would love to do that for you, and we made it very, very easy for you. KXAN.com/Friendsgiving. There's only a few boxes to fill out. You send it either to Team David, to Team Kristen, and we're going to be giving, hopefully, Central Texas Food Bank everything they need to feed our community next week. So we're really looking forward to it. You guys have been so generous already that we've got a few more days to take down Team David. Radar is nice and quiet this morning. The only thing we're going to be watching for again is that fog. We've got some low clouds here and there. Temperature not bad. They're about the same as yesterday. Upper 40s to mid 50s. Right now 54 degrees here in Austin. Those calm winds helping that fog to develop. You can see it spreading out now. Williamson County, Travis County, out towards western Bastrop County. This will be something to watch for your morning drive. We know what to do. Slow the speeds, keep just your regular headlights on, and allow yourself some extra time to break and such when it comes to that low fog. Now, as far as the rest of the day goes, once we get past this fog this morning, perfect. 60s up to the 70s, forecast high 73 for perspective. We hit 74 yesterday, but you don't have to worry about the rain today. You don't have to worry about it tomorrow either. You'll notice our rain chance Sunday, Monday, looking a little less optimistic than what I was showing you yesterday. I think we're just going to get clipped by this next storm, and it's not going to bring widespread heavy rain like we need. Putting this forward, you'll notice Saturday, mix of sun and clouds. Sunday, perhaps a few spotty showers. Still thinking Monday and really late in the day Monday is going to be that opportunity for rain. But outside of that, it's not going to do much for us. So I really want to manage expectations here. We're talking about 1/4 of an inch at best between Sunday and Monday here with our next rainfall. But it's really not going to be a very impactful system. Temperatures in the 70s today and tomorrow. You'll notice even behind cold front number 1, we're still in the 70s. The second cold front will do a little bit more damage to our temperatures in the first. We go from the 70s on Monday to 60s Tuesday. We'll take those 60s all the way into Thanksgiving Day.
Thank you. Donald Trump's attorneys filed a motion for a mistrial in a civil tax fraud case in New York. The document claims a bias on the judge overseeing the trial, and it also claims the gag orders imposed on former President Trump show bias. New York's Attorney General Letitia James responding to that motion, saying in part that Donald Trump is being held accountable for the years of fraud he committed. Embattled, New York Republican Representative George Santos says he will not resign, regardless on what the pending House Ethics report says.
That report scheduled to be released sometime this week, and here's what he told reporters outside the Capitol yesterday.
I think it's inappropriate, guys, to discuss this in the media. It's inappropriate to continuously think that I'm going to change what I said. This is an ongoing investigation. It's not prudent to try to have these discussions. Like I said before, I'm staying in office for sure.
Santos faces multiple federal charges, including wire fraud, identity theft, money laundering, lying to Congress, and theft of public funds. He's pleaded not guilty and is set to go to trial in September. An American tourist has died in the Bahamas after a catamaran carrying more than 100 people capsized. There is video posted on social media, also photos, and you can see here people just screaming as the boat tilts on its side. Some people end up jumping in the water and they started swimming to nearby boats. Police saying the tourist was a 74-year-old woman from Colorado. She was on vacation with her family. First responders rescued the other passengers and crew. It's unknown how that woman died, but police do say they found her unconscious when they were able to pull out some of the other passengers from the water.
An upset mom spoke out at the Lake Travis ISD school board meeting last night after her son suffered a peanut allergy attack, she says, which was directly caused, she says, by his fellow football players. This is a story a number of people have reached out to KXAN about, and it's been the talk of the district.
A couple of teammates on his varsity football team were asking about his allergy to peanuts and asked if it could kill him, if it were to touch him. Or would it kill him if they put them in his cleats or in his uniform? He said, yes, it absolutely could. These two boys then drove over to the high school, to the locker room that evening, and did exactly that. They filled his cleats with peanuts, they dumped peanuts in his locker and in his uniform in the varsity locker room. These boys were handed minimal consequences for their actions.
She goes on to say when her son opened the locker to get his uniform, the peanuts fell out, and he later noticed there were hives on his arm. The mother spoke during the open comment of the meeting that you just saw. The school board declined to comment during the meeting. Earlier this month, the district did send a letter home to parents explaining the incident and that the school addressed the students, but it did not specify exactly the punishment because of privacy laws.
More money is going toward life-saving treatments as the Cancer Prevention and Research Institute of Texas has handed out $63 million in grants this week. About $8 million is going toward bringing doctorate researchers from all over the world here to Texas. They're going to work on radioisotope-based treatments for brain tumors. More than $10 million is going toward the Mongoose Bio LLC. That company works to create precision-based cancer therapies. In 2007, Texans voted to create the Cancer Prevention and Research Institute. Its mission is to fuel research to support the fight against cancer.
Here we go again. SpaceX will get a second chance to test its second-generation rocket after the first attempt in April ended in that fiery explosion. Federal Aviation Administration giving the okay for the second launch of the Starship Super Heavy vehicle. This is video from the launch in April when the giant rocket exploded minutes after liftoff. Now, the FAA determined SpaceX did meet all requirements, including safety, environmental, policy, and financial responsibility. SpaceX aims to conduct the test flight on tomorrow morning between 7 and 9 in the morning. This is our time. At nearly 400 feet tall, builders want the Starship rocket for future missions to the moon and even Mars. Well, dream big. The largest ever Texas lottery prize has been claimed, but not by a Texan. The Mega Millions ticket worth $360 million has been paid out to a lucky person in South Dakota. That ticket, though, was bought at the Stripes convenience store in Texas, in San Angelo, for the October 6th drawing. The winner is remaining anonymous, but we know they chose the cash option, so that person gets $157 million.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
Texas is heading to Iowa State this weekend to face the Cyclones, and as KXAN's Noah Gross reports, the team will need a solid performance on both sides of the ball.
Good morning. It was another hard-fought match for Texas volleyball last night as they hosted Iowa State. The Cyclones gave them a game, but Texas prevailed 3-1 to get their 20th win of the season, clinching their 7th straight Big 12 championship. All right, college basketball. Texas took on Rice last night at the Moody Center. We pick it up in the first half. Caden Shedrick over to Tyrese Hunter for the three-pointer to put Texas up by 11. Hunter led Texas with 18 points. Shedrick got his first start tonight, and the Virginia transfer made good on it, draining this three-pointer. Shedrick had 15 points. Brock Cunningham, he had gotten the steal. They come down the court, and he delivers a three-pointer right there. Longhorns roll over Rice 80-64. They are now 3-0 on the year. Now we'll head over to Noah Gross for a report on Texas as they get ready to play Iowa State on Saturday.
Of course, it's a bottom-line business in football. Wins and losses are what matters most at the end of the day. And for Texas, 9-1 at this point in the season, first place in the Big 12 with 2 games to go. That's the great news. But when you dig a little bit deeper, some causes for concern for the Longhorns, especially in their ability to close games. Now, against Houston, letting up that big second-half lead. And then both of the last 2 games here at home in Austin against Kansas State, and then a week ago against TCU. Texas able to win all 3 of those games, but things getting more dicey than they would have liked late. So the question is, How do you get that killer instinct? How do you learn to close? Texas knows it's not something that just happens on Saturdays.
But I do think us having those competitive settings in practice, the sudden changes, the third down competitions, the good-on-good team runs, the good-on-good 7-on-7 periods, allows our players to feel comfortable in those moments when we have to make the play.
Later on in practice will be the harder periods of practice, the team periods, the competitive periods, and just going through that and feeling how you're going to feel in the game. Because, I mean, it's fourth quarter, everyone's tired. It's no difference, but it's just it's got to dig a little deeper.
It just starts with practice, not getting lax days, go towards the end of practice. Like AD said, it doesn't come on Saturdays. It comes on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, whenever you're tired. At the end of practice, it just continues to work.
Saturday in Ames, a big, tough road game for the Longhorns against a team near the top of the Big 12, in a place they've struggled in the past. Iowa State leading the conference in total defense at this point in the season, and Texas going to have some more onus, perhaps, on the passing game with Jonathan Brooks, their star running back, of course, out for the season with a torn ACL. For now at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium, Noah Gross, KXAN News.
Thanks, guys. For those listening on the KXAN Today podcast, thank you for joining us. Here's what else we're tracking on KXAN News Today at 5. The controversy that led the State Board of Education to vote certain books out as the battle continues at the state capitol over a list of approved textbooks.